I'm Dan Ackerman, and we have Tom Butler from Lenovo here to show us some of Lenovo's new forward-looking laptop designs. Hello, Tom, welcome. Thank you for bringing all this cool stuff for us to see.
Oh yeah, thanks Dan. Very excited to be here.
So I think one of the big trends that we're seeing this year, starting last year with phones, but this year in PCs, is people embracing the concept of the foldable screen. It took a while. The first couple of iterations on the phone side had some trouble. It almost works, in my mind, a little bit better on a larger laptop screen, and I think you guys are going to be one of the first to market with a Windows flexible screen device, and that is this guy. And what is this called?
This is the ThinkPad X1 Fold.
Oh, it's part of the ThinkPad line. It's a business laptop.
Yes.
It's part of the X1 line, and it's called the Fold because it folds.
Folding screen.
Now, how big is this screen right here?
I'm sorry?
How big is this screen?
This is a 13:3 screen, so it's a 4x3 plastic OLED screen.
So it's like the same size as you would get on a 13-inch. So you would get this on like a 13-inch laptop, like a similar size screen.
Yep. And
then you fold it like this, and then it's like a little mini laptop.
Exactly.
Which side is this side the top side?
That's the top side, yep.
And if I put it down like this,
now
I
you
can get a little...
mini clamshell. And so
it's like a smaller clamshell.
Exactly. So you could bring up...
Okay, you got a little on-screen keyboard there.
On-screen keyboard, you can type.
I'm going to go like this, and you can see it going right over the fold right there.
Exactly.
And you just showed me a little app that says, oh, I have something on the top screen, I have something on the bottom screen, because Windows 10 doesn't quite recognize the dual screen nature of folding screens yet.
Yes, exactly, yeah. So it sees this as one big screen, so then we've created an app that allows you to customize whatever you want. You can go full screen, split screen.
One screen or one screen and a keyboard.
Yep, and a keyboard as well. So then you've got, again, we look at this as a productivity device. So this is going to be what you would carry in place of a laptop, because you've got a full 13-inch screen, so full productivity. I've gone into a clamshell mode, but we also include a mechanical travel keyboard.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because, listen, I don't mind typing on a screen sometimes, but it's not what I want to do all the time.
Exactly.
So if you have an actual physical keyboard that comes along with it, and you can pack in with it, that seems a lot more laptop-like.
Exactly, and this actually gives you the flexibility of, obviously mechanical travel keyboard. The beauty of this is it folds up, closes, and charges the keyboard as you carry the device.
So the keyboard hangs in there like magnetically?
Yes, it's magnetically charged.
If I go like this, it's not going to... Okay, there we go. It's staying on, and it charges it like that.
Charges, yeah.
I'm going to try this real fast. I'm going to do my little typing test. All work and no play makes Jack a dull... Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a keyboard. It's better than typing on the screen.
Exactly.
But what I love about this design is you can take this keyboard, you can put it down right here like this, then you unfold the screen all the way, and I know that there is a hidden little kickstand on the bottom here. And you set this up like this, and this to me looks like a mini all-in-one desktop.
Exactly.
It's a little 13-inch screen on the kickstand. You have the keyboard in front of it. It's got a little touchpad, or I guess you could also get a Bluetooth mouse.
Sure, yeah.
And to connect a little travel mouse.
Yeah, USB-C out, so you could actually connect to monitor, keyboard, mouse, whatever you have in your office, your home office, to set up sort of your full productivity station. And then you've got a 13-inch laptop that you've collapsed into half the footprint. And that's really one of the exciting things about this new technology.
It's one of the first times I think I've seen people talk about the size of a computer and its screen size separately, not together.
Exactly.
A 13-inch laptop is no longer just a 13-inch body. It can be this, or it can be like this.
Exactly.
Now, my big question is, we saw some issues with flexible screens last year with some early products. I know you guys have been working on this for a while, and you don't want to fall prey to some of those issues.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what it takes to keep this screen working and safe so that it's not going to fall apart on the first day.
For sure. Yeah, so we've been working on this for over 4 years. And so the engineering efforts underneath this have really been around the development of and the protection of the screen. So the OLED screen, this plastic folding OLED screen, is really almost the thickness of a piece of paper.
And that's the actual screen?
Yeah, this is the actual screen. I've got 2 carbon fiber plates attached to the back of the screen that interlock as I open and close the device. So that allows the screen itself to be protected.
So the screen itself is very, very thin.
Very, very
thin.
And
it's plastic.
Again, paper thin. It's a plastic folding screen. And so we had to come up with new tests for scratch resistance, impact resistance, drop resistance to protect this screen. So we've got, working with LG Display, we've got a protective coating over the top for 6H hardness, but also how to protect from denting. Because if you had just a firm or solid chassis underneath and it took an impact, it would dent or damage the screen. So we came up with carbon fiber plates, and those are the 2 plates you see attached on the outside that have flexibility to it. They can absorb an impact and then rebound, so it takes that impact to the screen to protect the screen
and
overall.
then what about right here on the edge? Because I know that's where,
yes.
with some of the phones, that's where people had trouble, stuff getting in on the edge here. So how do you keep this sealed?
Yeah, exactly. So this actually was took a lot of iteration as well. We went through multiple hinge designs, first to create a torque hinge because it's a notebook, so you have to open it in multiple different angles. But the second piece was to protect the side, as you talk about. So we came up with, and I'm not sure if this is going to show on camera, but we came up with a multi-link hinge that really has 2 movements. We have the outer arms that control those carbon fiber plates, and then the inner hinge actually rises up and protects the side of the screen throughout the motion of the opening and closing of the device. So really a lot of effort around the protection of that screen on this chassis.
Do you think that was the biggest engineering challenge, protecting the sides of the flexible screen?
Yeah, I think, well, both really the top of the screen itself and then the sides of the screen, absolutely. So it was, again, sort of a grounds-up approach. And the other thing I'll say is, as we fold and close, some of your viewers may have picked up this is exposed, but on the inside of the chassis, we also have a flexible cradle that covers this throughout the motion. So we've really got all sides protected, front, top, sides, and bottom of the chassis.
So the big question is, we've seen a bunch of people play around with flexible screens on Windows devices, but they're usually called concepts or prototypes. Yeah. Maybe they'll come out someday, maybe they won't. Yeah. Where in the process is this in terms of being a product you could actually go out and buy?
Yeah, so we're physically launching this. We're announcing it here at CES. It's going to be available mid-2020, so this year, just a few months out, and we've got a starting price of $24.99.
Okay.
So this is a legitimate product ready to go.
And you think this will be the first flexible screen Windows laptop you can go out and buy?
Absolutely.
Very cool. Now, I've seen some flexible screen laptops and devices. I've seen some dual screen devices. You guys have a take on a dual screen device that's very unique and different and actually includes one of my favorite, I think, underappreciated and underused technologies. And I'm going to show you this. This is the ThinkBook Plus, right?
Yes.
So from this side, it looks like a fairly standard Lenovo laptop.
Yep.
Now, there's a secondary screen here. It's not down here. It's not above the keyboard. It's on the back of the lid. And it's not an LCD screen. It's an e-ink screen.
Yes.
And I've always been a fan of e-ink devices. I think we haven't used that technology enough in enough different types of things besides Kindles.
Exactly.
So I think it's fascinating. People have tried it before. We've seen a few other iterations of this over the years. I don't think it was ready yet. What's different now that makes this a ready-to-go product?
Sure, yeah, so we actually have been pioneering sort of use of e-ink displays with our yoga books, our very small, thin and light dual-screen devices. So a lot of lessons learned from those. And we looked at this device as really, sort of how can I benefit a laptop and go have an on-the-go experience. And so you've got the capability of having that e-ink display up and running. This will actually showcase you've got calendar notification, you've got email notification. So if you were walking through, corridor to corridor or meeting to meeting, you've got those notifications there, but they also hide or go private because that's information that you may want to see, but maybe you don't want to show me. We've also integrated different features into this device. So we have a launcher for the Kindle Windows.
See, now that's what
app.
I always thought e-ink devices that were not Kindles were missing. Almost none of them supported the Kindle software. And if you have an e-ink screen, you kind of have to support Kindle books. Otherwise, you're missing, 75% of what people want to do with an e-ink screen. So I love that the Kindle reader is built into this. And
so this is a launcher that you can download Kindle app and then point to it, open up a book. You can actually e-read the book on the fly, and it saves you power consumption because you think about screen is off on the inside, you've closed the device. Now I've got something that I can read on the go. But the other piece I really like is the integration to OneNote. So we've taken our stylus, can launch our inking app, and that will can jot notes on the fly. You're an artist, so you can actually draw designs on the fly, and that will directly save to OneNote on the inside. So you've got this seamless integration. And again, we see this as sort of an on-the-go experience. And so you've got significant power savings on the device. You've got utility on the outside, and why not? And in the end, you can also customize. You can put your own images up, and you've now got an e-ink display that's there, even if the system is off.
Take handwritten notes during a meeting without opening your laptop, without turning on, without running down the battery, because the secret of an e-ink display is it really uses very little power.
Exactly.
Even when you're doing something like this, you're really not hitting the battery that hard. So I think that's super cool, and it's very responsive. You would think e-ink is not the fastest technology out there, but the actual sketching on here feels very real time.
Yeah.
So I really like that a lot. And of course, you can take a look at your calendar and your email and then hide it. And then I know when you open the lid, I like that it flips the orientation around.
Yeah. Not only does it flip the orientation around, but now you've gone to a public view, so that email and calendar go away.
Ah, okay.
So again, you're in control of your private information at all times.
So this is also an actual product, not a concept, not a prototype.
Exactly. So we're actually launching this in March of this year at a price of $11.99.
Okay, great. Now, there's another trend
Oh, yes.
that we've talked a lot about. Everyone loves talking about 5G. And of course, we see it in a bunch of phones. Now we're starting to see it in a bunch of laptops. This is probably about as close to the platonic ideal of the laptop you would want 5G in. It's a Yoga. It's one of the Qualcomm-powered laptops, so it's really meant for that always-on connection, which makes a lot of sense with 5G. It says 5G in shiny letters right here. And of course, it's got that 360 hinge that everybody loves about the Yogas. So explain to me why this is the right time to start putting 5G in laptops when, frankly, LTE and other always-on laptops never really took off outside of a kind of a small niche audience.
Sure. So what is some of the value props of 5G? You've got much faster speeds. You've got significant reduction in latency or responsiveness on the networks, so you have a big push to really sort of the future of a connected device. If you think about something that concerns all of us, it's security of platforms. So you have unconnected devices. If you're connecting out here into Wi-Fi or hotspots, sort of unknown or uncertain networks. Now, if I'm connected to a 5G network, there's certainty to my connection, the security of that platform. With this device, really 5G in general, 2020 is going to be the start of the launch of products. You've got a big push. 2019 there was a big push from a marketing understanding. The carriers are starting to light up pockets. But 2020 is really going to be the start of the launch of 5G devices in the market. So the foldable device we just looked at, that's a 5G platform. This is going to be the first 5G platform we have in market coming in spring of this year.
Is that eventually going to be the standard for all new laptops to at least have the 5G option built in?
Yeah, so as you see sort of the longer term view, that 2020 is a starting point. More devices will come into market across the year, second half of the year, and then into 2021, all of the new designs that will come into market will be 5G enabled or 5G ready.
What is the audience expectation for 5G? Are people going, oh, I really want this? Are they taking a wait-and-see attitude to see what the service is going to cost them every month? Are they concerned about the ongoing kind of total cost of ownership when it comes to paying an extra bill for the service, which is something that's out of your hands? It's with the carriers.
Yeah, so I think some of it is going to be the carriers, what pricing model they put in place. But when we look at these devices, part of this is the future-proofing of the device. So 5G is coming. How fast it rolls out, how fast it ramps up in the market acceptance. But if you're buying a device in 2020, 2021, if you're buying a device that's 5G ready or 5G enabled, then you really sort of future-proofed across the next 3, 4, 5 years of the device. So it gives you that sort of that comfort level, if you will.
So 2020 is really the year when 5G starts to go mainstream, and you'll see it in more laptops. I think we'll obviously see it in more phones, and we'll get more options from carriers in more regions around the country and around the world.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that's three very interesting, I think, very different takes on the future of laptops. I think things like the flexible screen are incredibly forward-looking and interesting. I think, obviously, early adopters will be there first. And as we iterate and the screens get bigger and they get thinner, more and more people will just come to see it as a normal idea. Yep. Adding multiple screens, we've seen that a bunch over the last year or so, but this is the first time I've seen the e-ink version, which I think is just different enough to be interesting and great for people who are always concerned about running out of battery power, because you can do a lot with it without running down your battery.
Absolutely.
And I'm always having trouble shoving my Kindle in my bag along with everything else. And of course, the Yogas it's such an iconic product, and then to go with 5G and make that the first real flagship 5G device. Is 5G going to be available in Intel-powered products as well, or mostly in Qualcomm-powered products?
Well, that's an Intel-powered product.
Okay, that's going to be Intel 5G.
I'll answer your question. Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's going to be
exactly.
a
So we have Qualcomm. I mean,
5G.
we've worked in the integration of the platforms across silicon providers. So you'll have Intel platforms and this Qualcomm platform as well.
Cool. Well, that is all very interesting stuff, and I love that these are actual soon-to-be shipping products rather than just concepts and prototypes, which we see a lot of here at CES. So thank you for bringing all these and showing them to us.
Yep. Thanks very much.
There you have it.